गुड मॉर्निंग। आज हम लोग भारत के संविधान के सिक्स्थ शेड्यूल के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। वी हैव ऑलरेडी discussed the fifth schedule of Indian Constitution, and you have not watched the video lecture on fifth schedule of India's Constitution. Then you should watch first, and then you should watch this particular video lecture on sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. In fact, this sixth schedule of Indian Constitution comes from the same article which provided for scheduled areas, right? 244 of India's Constitution provides for the administration of scheduled areas and tribal areas as such. So sixth schedule actually deals with what? Tribal areas, right? Tribal areas. And this is very important. This is a very important provision for the administration of tribal areas, right? And in some specific states of India. These states are basically tribal dominated area, and these tribal dominated areas of the northeastern states of India are basically Assam, Mizoram, then you have Tripura, and you have Mizoram, Meghalaya. So there are four northeastern states of India which finds mention in the sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. So these three states are tribal dominated area for which a special provision has been made under Indian Constitution, and which is referred to as sixth schedule of Indian Constitution under Article 244. And why is it that these four states? Because there are 10 states where you have scheduled areas, but these are tribal areas. These are categorized as tribal areas, right? So there are 10 states where we find some sort of scheduled areas. These are tribal areas. So try to understand the distinction between these tribal areas and scheduled areas. So the sixth schedule actually was included in Indian Constitution after the recommendation of the Bardoloi Committee, right? Bardoloi Committee recommended for the inclusion of such a provision. So Bardoloi Committee actually recommended for this particular provision of tribal areas, and after that it was actually included in Indian Constitution after the recommendation of Bardoloi Committee. So what it recommended for? It recommended for limited autonomy to the tribal areas, which can actually conserve what? Rights, culture and ethnicity, because these are the four states where the tribals are very live a very primitive kind of life, or a specific anthropological life. So therefore, it was decided that there is a need to protect their unique culture, their ethnicity, and their rights. And this person, Badulai, who headed this committee, was, later, later he became the chief minister of Assam also. So, this sixth schedule of Indian Constitution is therefore a very vital, sixth schedule of Indian Constitution is a very important provision, specifically, for the administration of tribal areas of India. These four, tribals, areas, or say Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. So this schedule area was incorporated to sort of, provide a framework for the protection of, tribal identity, culture, and self-governance for them. So the aim of this, the sixth schedule is to preserve their cultural heritage, tradition, and autonomy of these indigenous, tribal groups in areas where they have not fully actually integrated into the mainstream of the society, right? So these tribal groups still today actually are not, integrated into the mainstream society, right? They are cut off from the mainstream society, and they really live uh, uh, you know tribal, life. So therefore, scholars refer to these as anthropological specimen, a rare, example of human origin that is, a record of, human history. So these tribal areas have their own distinct, custom, tradition, and administration or administrative structure, which are different from the systems followed in rest of the country. As such, these regions have been, granted, special status to ensure that their cultural values, rights are not eroded due to, outside influence. So the sixth schedule ensures that the governance in these regions is tailored to the specific needs and aspirations of the tribal population. So this is the overall, uh, overview of the sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. So the Constitution under sixth schedule actually provides for makes special provision for the administration of tribal areas in four northeastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. The rationality behind the special arrangement uh, is that the tribes in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram are actually or have not actually, assimilated much uh, with the mainstream, population, uh, and these areas have been, uh, geographically also are cut off from the mainstream population. Uh, the tribal people in other parts of India have more or less, adopted the culture of the majority, of the people in the whole, uh, uh, because they live in the midst of, of this particular population. But these, specific tribal group, which we'll discuss in a while, actually live in isolation from the mainstream population because the geography is also such that they have to live, cut off from the mainstream population. So the tribe in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram, therefore, still have their roots in their own culture, own customs, and civilization, and these areas are therefore treated differently by the constitution, and sizable amount of autonomy has been actually given to these people for self governance. So there are many important, features in Indian constitution with regard to this particular provisions, that is sixth schedule. For example, the tribal areas in four states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura have been actually constituted as autonomous districts, right? But they do not fall outside the executive authority of the state concerned. The government is empowered to organize and reorganize the autonomous districts. Thus, he can, increase the population, or increase this, or decrease the area of, or say, change the names, or define the boundaries and so on. So, if there are different tribes in an autonomous district, the governor can divide the district into several autonomous regions. So each autonomous district has a district council, right? So district council are very important in this context, in the context of sixth schedule. So these autonomous districts have district councils consisting of 30 members, right? These district councils have 30 members, right? And 4 are actually nominated by the governor. The remaining 26 are actually elected on the basis of adult franchise. So the elected members actually hold office for a term of 5 years unless the council is dissolved earlier, and nominated members hold office during the pleasure of the governor. And each autonomous region also has a separate regional council, right? The district and regional council administer the areas under the jurisdiction, and they can make law on certain specified matters like say land, forest, canal water, shifting, cultivation, and village administration, then inheritance of property, marriage, divorce, social customs, and so on. But all such laws require the assent of the governor also, right? So this is a very unique provision under Indian Constitution, right? Then you have the district and regional councils within their territorial jurisdiction can constitute village council also, or courts for the trial of suits and cases between the tribes. They hear appeal from them. The jurisdiction of the High Court over these suits and cases is specified by the governor, right? So this is another unique feature of the sixth schedule, tribal areas. The district council can establish and construct or manage primary school also, because they have to perform certain responsibilities also. So they can establish, construct, and manage primary schools, dispensaries, markets, ferries, fisheries, roads, and so on in the district. It can also make regulations for the control of money lending and trading by non-tribals, but such regulations require the assent of the governor also. Here also the assent of the governor is necessary. So the district and regional councils are actually empowered to assess and collect land revenue also, and to impose certain specific or specified taxes, etc. So the act of the parliament or the state legislature here do not apply to autonomous districts, right? But they can apply with specified modification or some exception also, right? They directly don't apply to these autonomous districts. The governor can appoint commission to examine and report on any matter relating to the administration of the autonomous districts or regions. He can dissolve a district or regional council on the recommendation of the commission also, right? So these are the basic, you know, provisions or specific, or special provision made under the sixth, schedule of Indian Constitution. Now, this sixth schedule actually applies therefore to northeastern eastern, states of like Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram, and these regions are actually a large home to indigenous tribal population, and they have their unique governance and cultural practices, right? And the areas designated under the schedule, these six schedules are as following. Like in Assam, you have certain areas, for example, say North Kachar Hill is a tribal area, right? Then you have Karbi along. Then you have Bodoland territorial area, right? In Meghalaya, you have Khasi Hills, Jaintia Hills, and Garo Hills. In Tripura, you have Tripura, tribal area district. In Mizoram, you have Chakma, then Mara, Lai districts, etc. These are actually tribal areas under sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. Each of these districts are actually governed by district councils, which are which actually oversees the local governance issues, and these provisions ensure that the governance of these regions reflect the tribal culture and values, preventing any imposition of external administrative system that might actually undermine their identity. So the uh, unique feature of the administration under the sixth schedule, as I have already mentioned to all of you, is this. It's like a repetition again. So governor here also plays a very, like scheduled areas, in tribal areas also governor has a crucial role to play. He has a very significant role to play in the organizing and reorganization of autonomous districts, which and also he can change the boundaries, or even divide them into smaller autonomous region to accommodate various tribal groups, etc. So uh, the autonomous districts therefore provides for a special governance system, recognizes the tribal identity, and also preserve the local autonomy of these regions, right? So what is the governance mechanism? As I have already said, district councils, you have 30 members. 20 members are elected directly, 4 members are actually nominated by the governor, and they are responsible for the uh, land administration or resource management or public health or cultural preservation, etc. And this council also hold a significant legislative authority, right? Through uh, through which which needs the governor's assent for any law they pass, right? So you have regional council also. In these districts, regional councils are formed to to represent the specific interest of districts, distinct tribal groups, offering tailor or specific governance that reflect their unique needs and traditions. So these district regional councils have also certain judicial functions, right? They have authority to establish village courts for adjudication of disputes within the tribal communities. Jurisdiction of the high court to oversee this disputes is very restricted, or is restricted, and the governor can specify the scope of such jurisdiction, ensuring that tribal legal matters are handled within the traditional framework. So here are the three important four tribal areas where this sixth schedule applies. Assam, as I have already mentioned, North Kachar Hill, Karbi Along, then Bodoland territorial area, then in Meghalaya you have Khasi, Jaitia, and Garo Hill, then Tripura, tribal area districts, then you have Chakma, then Mara and lie districts. These are the areas which fall uh, under the sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. These are the constitutional provisions. These are the articles which provides for the administration of Article 244 actually defines what is a scheduled area or tribal area, establishes a special governance framework recognizing the tribal communities, their distinct social cultural system, etc. You have Article 244A, which provides for, or it allows for the creation of autonomous states within certain tribal regions in Assam, uh, etc., and enables the establishment of a local legislature or council, etc. So Article 244A actually talks about the formation of an autonomous state comprising certain tribal areas in Assam, and creation of local legislature or council of ministers for both there for. And then you have another article called 339, which is very important. It deals with the control of union, that is union government, over the administration of scheduled areas and welfare of scheduled tribes. So Article 339 actually deals with the control of union over the administration of scheduled areas and welfare of scheduled tribes. So in autonomous districts, the governor plays a very important role, as I have said, because he can organize, he has a crucial role in organizing and reorganizing autonomous districts. He can make changes in boundaries, name, division, divide them into smaller districts to accommodate various tribal groups, etc., and ensure local governance and reflect ensure a local governance that reflects tribal identity and autonomy, etc. So the district councils have 30 members. I have already, they are responsible for what? Land administration, resource management, public health and preservation, etc., and holds legislative authority with the governor's assent or permission. You have regional councils are formed to represent distinct tribal groups within the districts. So you have regional councils for a very detailed governance, which reflect unique needs and traditions of the these tribal groups. You have judicial function also. District and regional council establish village courts. High courts are very have a restricted jurisdiction over these disputes. In terms of administrative and financial provisions, they have the power to revenue. Councils can collect what revenue and taxes, etc. They have developmental functions, and they have also the responsibility to apply with modification or exception certain union or central laws with the permission of the governor or the president, to ensure local customs and governance structure are also preserved at the same time. So what are the challenges or success of this sixth schedule of Indian Constitution? Or what are the success or say challenges of the tribal areas under the sixth schedule of India's Constitution? The success is cultural preservation. The sixth schedule has played a very important role in preserving their unique culture, language and tradition, etc., local needs and practices of the community, tribal community. It has empowered them politically also. They have judicial independence because they can organize village courts as per their tribal communities, customs of the tribal community. So the idea of customary law comes in here. Ensuring justice is administered in a manner that both what culturally relevant and widely accepted. The challenges are they have limited capacity because they suffer from limited resources, so therefore they are resourceless, therefore they cannot perform their or discharge their responsibility. Integration with the national governance, so it is hard to sort of integrate the tribal communities with the national governance, or these areas with the national governance. While the sixth schedule provides for autonomy, tribal areas actually face challenges in balancing autonomy with the demand of national development and integration also. So the political interference is also another challenge for these areas. External political forces sometimes exert undue influence over the functioning of district and regional councils, which undermines the autonomy of these institutions and their ability to represent the interest of the tribal communities effectively. So when I say success, it has somewhat been successful in preserving their culture, or in terms of cultural preservation, in terms of political empowerment or judicial independence, etc. They have, these councils have limited capacity in terms of challenges, and there is a problem with the integration with the national governance, and then and maintaining autonomy. At the same time, then you have the problem of political interference. So these are overall you know provision of the sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. I hope this lecture will be of some help for all of you. Thank you. In case you have any queries, you can ask me, and we can discuss it further in future. So I stop here. Thank you.